Hey guys, thank you for being with me here this morning. Um, so this morning I woke up, I was watching The View, and on The View, Joy made she was showing a video where Congresswoman Anastasio Cortez, I hope I pronounced that name correct, she released a video where she was dressed down in like her nightshirt and it looks like she was relaxing at home. And she made a rant video on social media stating that down by the border, the Texas border, the California border, that there were concentration camps, and concentration camps were taking place right here in the United States. And she stated that that's exactly what they were. And so Joy took the position of stating that basically Anastasio Cortez was just making that statement by saying that the legal definition of concentration camp, she was correct, right? Because it was just like based in the idea that a concentration camp is a place where individuals are detained against their will and blah 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 blah. Okay, but Joy pushed the narrative further by saying the Holocaust community and the Jewish community do not support Anastasio Cortez statements. And I found it very interesting that the way politics is played. And there's a couple different perspectives I'm going to give here. So just follow me down this rabbit hole, okay? It's interesting to me how Joy, it's interesting to me how powerful the Jewish community is here in the United States. Okay, that's number one. It's also interesting to me how controlled our media actually is. And I'll build on that. So Anastasio Cortez makes the video the night before, or 2 nights before, and there's this whole PR campaign from the Jewish community stating that they don't support what she said. Okay. Publicly. Let's just say publicly, okay? Because I think there's a perspective, there's a couple of different perspectives here. They may not publicly support what she said. However, they could be planned from the narrative because it's politics. Politics want the people to believe that it's straight cut. There's a good guy, there's a bad guy. It's black, it's white. It's Republican, it's Democrat. You know, it's up and it's down. But there's a lot of gray. Like, for example, the Jewish community could have stated, we don't support her statement publicly. However, her statements could have came directly from Jewish influence. See what I'm saying? So publicly, they don't have to agree with it. However, behind the scenes, they could take on this narrative that it's a narrative for which Trump's playbook is based out of. And they may do this to kind of level the field. And what is the narrative that Trump playbook is based out of? His playbook is based out of the reality that any news is good news. That's the reason why he rants and give statements that are true, statements that are lies. They tell white lies, little pieces of truth, and the rest is all fabricated, you can go where you want to with your imagination as an individual. And I think the Democrats are playing in that same pool where the hyperbole is based in a truth, but it's not the truth of normalcy. What I mean is that like given a description of concentration camps, everyone knows that they'll be associated with Nazi Germany and Hitler and Japanese being put in concentration camps and the concentration camps of Cuba. You know, kids taking what, you know, it's and granted that the Jewish community could support the idea that since she's so big socially, that it's okay for her to say that, because it takes that level of it, of a semi-truth, to be put into the public in order for the public to understand where it could go, right? Where it could go, you know? I also think that since Anastasia have so many social media followers, that the any news is good news thing, those who hated her statements and disapprove or disagree with her statements are going to start to view her and watch her social media. Those who love the statements are going to start to view her and watch her her social media. So she, as a result, she only grows from that. And I also think that there's a possibility that, from the way the video appears to me, is that she was relaxing in her house. You know, there could have been, you know, off camera, because it's very, very, very narrow the way it is shot, kind of like, you know, the background. I think that there could have been a side table with probably a couple empty bottles of wine, you know, and that video could have been the result of just a wine-induced rant. You know, that's a possibility, but I would not be surprised if SNL do a skit where they probably show that she was you know, under the influence when she did the video, but that's nor here nor there. But I did want to get that one out there. About politics. Moving along, I want to touch on the topic of taxes again, and how important it is that you understand that the rich don't pay taxes. The rich is actually asked to invest in certain communities. Every rich person touts the reason why they are rich is because they don't pay taxes. When they buy these big swaths of real estate, or sell them, or when they sell these big swaths of real estate, within 6 months they can do what's called 1031 exchange to funds, which means that you can exchange that property or a value property with like or better value within 6 months, and you don't have to pay a dime in taxes if you take the profits from the sale of that property and invest them into another property. And you can do that. That's a scalable process in itself. You can do that all the way up to $1 million. You could do that to 10 million. I know a guy who's done it up to the sum of $100+ million. And it took him over 30 years to do it, but now he have hotels. He's closing on a Home Depot. He had the 1031 exchange over 16 million, and he took 13.4 of that million and purchased the Home Depot down in Florida, because he's trying to diversify his portfolio, and that's a AAA rated company. And by him 1031 exchanging that money, and that's a triple net property, which means that, you know, Home Depot will pay for maintenance, Home Depot will pay for all the maintenance, meaning, you know, building repair, they'll pay for the taxes, and they'll pay rent. That's triple net on commercial property. And you know something? All he would have to do from buying that triple A rated property is collect a check every month. And just by him collecting that check every month, he'll grow somewhere in the neighborhood of $800,000 a year. $800,000 a year in passive income because of the lease of Home Depot owning that property. And Home Depot is a company that'll probably be around. How long is the lease on that? How long does Home Depot sign leases for? What, 99 years? Yeah. 25, 99, 50 years. And that's how they get rich. This is information you will not learn in school. You will not learn this in a school curriculum. It's not promoted that way. It's not made for that system. It's a completely different way of understanding money. But I wanted to mention those things because Ben is the guy's name. It's just interesting to me. Just a rant.